the biggest Pokemon card deal of my life. And if I don't get this done, I might have to shave my head. The story starts out at Collecticon Chicago, where I'm continuing my journey to collect every alternate art from the Sword and Shield era graded as a PSA 10. Now, what does that have to do with me being bald? I have till the end of this year to finish this collection challenge. If I don't, I end up bald. And to help me collect alternate arts, I'm gonna have to sell an alternate art. I took my Arceus Dialga Palkia PSA 10 to Collecticon to sell it, and using the money, I would raise funds to purchase some other alternate arts from the Sword and Shield era. After walking around the con for a bit, I found Scott's PC. And if you don't know who this guy is, let me show you.
Ripping until I pull a card with food.
Yeah, he's the Ripping Until I, and I'm sure you've seen his videos. He's a good friend of mine and somebody I know I can work with. So we worked out a deal for the Arceus Dialga Palkia, $400 in my pocket, and obviously Scott gets the card. And now I gotta go find some cards to use the money. And check this out. Glaceon V alternate art, PSA 10. Leafeon V alternate art, PSA 10. And chatting with the vendor, I offered $270 for the pair. He said sure, and these two evolutions end up in my collection. Now this purchase was a big accomplishment for me. And that's because with these two in my collection, I now have every single alternate art evolution in my collection. All of the regular V alternate arts, as well as all of the VMAX alternate arts. And everybody knows Evolving Skies is on a pedestal like no tomorrow, with the evolutions being right there as the rulers of the alternate art kingdom. And after all said and done, I still had $130 to spend. So of course I took a look at a bunch of plushies because why not? But then I remembered no plushies. Stop with the plushies. I'll end up bald if I spend my money on plushies instead of alternate art Pokemon cards. So after some searching, I found a Galarian Rapidash, which I think is such an underrated card for $100. And of course I pulled the trigger on it because I needed it for my collection, and it's a solid price on the card too. And once I finished the deal for the Rapidash, it did leave me with $30 to spend on plushies. Too bad the plushies are way too expensive and I can't afford any of them for $30. Forget the alternate art cards being expensive. What is good with this plushie market? What is happening in the plushie market that I am not aware of? And from Collecticon in Chicago, I teleport on over to Collecticon in Houston. And this one was packed to the brim with people. And it wasn't just people, the gigantic Collecticon Pikachu also takes up a lot of space. But the most important aspect is that it is packed to the brim with graded cards. And considering this is a graded card challenge, that's very good for me. So I spent the day looking at a bunch of graded cards. And of course I found a bunch of stuff that was way above my pay grade. Then I came upon a table that had 3 cards I needed for the challenge. Galarian Zapdos, Origin Form Dialga, and the Machamp. And seeing all 3 of these here together, it was time. It was time for me to use my negotiation tactics. You guys have seen in the past, when I negotiate, I get the deal done.
I gotta give this guy an offer he can't refuse because I'm the best negotiator. Don't go to business school, just watch my videos, trust me. So total sticker on these bad boys is $475. $430, would you take $430? Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
After making a deal for those 3 cards, I got distracted by a table of plushies. And before I knew it, day 1 of Houston Collecticon was coming to an end. And that's when an opportunity that I could not pass by came to me.
Okay, I think I have a crazy opportunity at a Gengar VMAX right now. I'm gonna try it, let's see what happens. I'm gonna do something that I'm not used to doing, the coin flip. Okay, the Gengar right here. 560, 600, coin flip. You call, buddy, you call.
Tails.
It's heads! Let's go!
Why does it look
Let's
like that?
go!
Heads. What kind of head is that?
Bro said, what kind of head is that? I'll tell you, it's the one that got me a good deal, baby! Let's go! The con's over. The con's ending. Everybody is leaving for day 1 of Collecticon. And I just got an insane, look at the sticker price on that, 700. Insane. I won the coin flip and I got it for 560. Oh my God, what a deal. What a steal. I'm baffled.
Guys, Gengar VMAX, the biggest card from Fusion Strike. Gengar's popularity is massive. People make Gengar their personality traits, which is one of the reasons why this card is so sought after. And now it's part of my collection. and all I had to do was flip a coin for it. But I also spent 560 bucks for it, but we're not gonna talk about that as it is time for
Day 2 at Houston Collecticon. I spent a lot of money yesterday. Last night was insane on that Gengar VMAX pickup. And listen, I'm not trying to spend too much money. I spent way too much yesterday, but if I can find some cheapies that work out for me, help me get closer to the end of this challenge, then I'm gonna do it.
And full disclosure, when it comes to day 2, I didn't do that much for the challenge. I did find this Urshifu V from Battle Styles as a PSA 10. I worked out a deal for it and it came into my collection.
I have picked up 5 alternate art PSA 10s at Houston Collecticon. And I understand that doesn't sound like a ton of alternate arts added to the collection to finish this challenge, but they were some big pieces. The Machamp, huge, and the Gengar, ginormous. Total amount spent though, $1,050. That's a lot of money. I cannot spend any more at this con for this challenge. I'm gonna see you in wherever I'll be next.
The Long Island TCG show, and this time it is a 2-day event. This has easily become one of my favorite card shows on the East Coast, and this time it was ridiculously busy. How busy, you ask?
It's so busy. It is so busy.
So of course I started looking around at the tables for some slabs, and I quickly found an Inteleon V alternate art. I paid the 50 bucks on it, it was cheap enough, I said let's go for it. I then moved on to a different table where I found a Medicham V alternate art, which I think is super underrated. The Medicham alternate art can be found in Evolving Skies, so everybody kind of forget that it exists, but I personally love the card. And then we move on to Greedent. I hate Greedent, but I needed the Greedent alternate art for my collection, so I had to pick it up. But Greedent, it's a stupid Pokemon. It's chubby cheeks always smiling at me. I hate it. I hate it so much. And then I found a table that had a stack of slabs that I could sift through in boxes. Usually slabs are laid out very nicely on the table, flat so you can see them. Not this table. This guy said I have too many slabs to display, so go through the box. And I did, where I found a Regidrago V, I found a Rotom V, and I found the Arceus V alternate art. All 3 cards are super beautiful, super awesome, and I need them for my collection challenge.
Offered 200 exactly, got them all 3, perfect, we'll take it. Okay, so I see a card, Urshifu VMAX PSA 10. Problem is, this guy has it for way too high of a price, and I'm not happy about that. So let me see if I can discuss a good price for it.
After telling the vendor that I think the price was a little off, he started looking up to see what the last solds were. In the end, from the vendor, I picked up a Genesect V alternate art and an Urshifu VMAX alternate art. And as you can see, the sticker price on the Urshifu is 100 bucks, but we managed to get it for 75. When you're at a card show like this, make sure you know the price points of what you're purchasing. I personally like to use the collector app to see last sold values, and it really helps in negotiating the pricing down, especially if I feel like the sticker price is off.
Okay, so we're at the end of day 1 for the Long Island TCG show, and it was a great but super busy show. But the best part is I've managed to do a lot of damage to my collection challenge. And here's the thing that I didn't really consider before all of this. The cheap slabs, the cheap alternate arts, those ones are going to be kind of tough to find. Let me explain what I mean. Expensive Pokemon cards, you're going to find those everywhere. Everybody has PSA 10 Gengars and Lugias and Charizards and Moonbryons. But those weird alternate arts that are worth like $50, those ones you're not going to see at tables too much. And I didn't realize until recently that the cheapy ones were going to cause me an issue. But I've managed to do some great work today. Let's see how day 2 goes.
Day 2 of the Long Island TCG show, and of course it was just as busy as it was the first day. Here's the crazy thing about this show is that it's grown so much that they're going from the current location to the Nassau Coliseum next year. But we have to talk about the now, and the now is that I met up with a buddy of mine, PokeSurge. If you haven't seen his content, go check him out. He is an awesome Pokemon content creator. I watched him make a sale on his Lugia V alternate art, and that made me go, wait, I have an entire sell and trade binder that I brought with me. So I brought the binder on over to my buddy, the Card Caravan. You guys have seen this guy a million times in my videos. And the more connections you have with vendors, the more willing and open they are to work with you on price points and trades and selling. And this right here ended up being the biggest Pokemon card deal that I have ever made. After going through my entire binder and cleaning it out, the card caravan paid me $1,280. I felt like Mr. Krabs with the amount of money I got from this deal.
$1,280 in my pocket. My binder is feeling really light, but that means with that money, I can go ahead and get myself a nice old big boy. Let's head on inside and see what we can find.
And of course, I was pretty cheeky about it because remember that Lugia V that PokeSurge sold to the vendor? Well, I went straight back to that vendor and I picked out the Lugia V that PokeSurge sold him, as well as a Giratina V alternate art. All the money that I just made from the deal with the card caravan, well, I'm willing to spend it all, but I need to work out a deal.
That's fair in the market environment.
All right, so.
Because I can quick sell them at $12.50 whenever too.
All right, we work together. I see you at every con,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right, let's do it, $12.50. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, $12.50, let's do it,
Thank you,
bro. 2 massive cards off of my list. I'm sick and tired of chasing these things, and I'm sick and tired of continuing to spend more money. I'm done, and I'm over with. We got ourselves the Giratina, and we got ourselves Luigi.
Boy, was that a deal of a lifetime. The Lugia V alternate art and the Giratina V alternate art. At PSA 10 value, the Giratina is literally the second most expensive alternate art from the Sword and Shield era, only behind Moonbryon. And of course, Luigi is Luigi, so I needed to add it to the collection.
I'm done. I'm done with this convention. I've spent enough money. East Coast Collectibles Convention next week. I don't even know if I have money to spend there, but we'll see how this goes.
The East Coast Collectibles Convention in my home state of Connecticut, but there was an issue.
Okay guys, so this is actually a little different than usual. When it comes to the East Coast Collectibles Convention, this is my home show. This is the show this is where I started the PSA 10 challenge. And it's a great show, but man, there are a lot of sports cards here today. I've taken a walk around and there isn't a lot of Pokemon, and that's dangerous for me and my head.
But I did my best and went to as many tables as I possibly can looking for some alternate arts. And look at this, I even found a Tyranitar alternate art, but it's the Japanese one and I'm collecting English.
All right, check this out right here. Honchkrow V, PSA 10, need that card. And then this bad boy right here. Nobody cared about battle styles for months after release. And here I am chasing a Battle Styles card, so I need that bad boy as well. Okay, he's asking 120 and 50 on them, so honestly, I feel like we just go for it. No need to, haggle this. Let's just get it done. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do both. Thank you. There. All right. This is actually like an insane deal, and it's 2 cards, insane deal, immaculate cards. Shout out to them. It has been tough finding PSA cards at this convention, but we just did it.
It's been so tough that I even had to ask vendors if I could look at their private cases behind their tables. So I got one of the guys from Collectibles Tax to get some slabs out of his private case. I started looking through it and I found a Noivern V alternate art, which I still needed for my collection. The card wasn't stickered because it wasn't something that he had out on the table. So I used the collector app to find the last sold values on this card. And the collector app is super easy. I just use the scanning feature, I scan the card, and it gives me a bunch of information about the card, including last sold data, as you're seeing on your screen right now.
There's no sticker price on this. The collector app told me that the average last sold pricing is sitting at $100. That's what we're gonna offer on this bad boy. If we can get it, I need this for the collection.
And after getting an idea of what the price of the card was, I started chatting with the guy and made the deal.
Okay, so that brings my total of cards needed, PSA 10 alternate art challenge, down to 12. If I can hit 2 more at this convention, I would call that a super successful convention. Let's keep looking.
After making that deal, I went back to hunting and check out this gigantic table of vintage product. Specifically the vintage Pokemon card tins. And you guys know me, I love Pokemon tins. Every Tuesday I host the Tin Tuesday stream on my channel, so man, what a dream it would be to open tins like this for Tin Tuesday. But I can't concentrate on that, back to hunting for slabs inside this gigantic box of just slabs. We saw a similar situation at the Long Island TCG show. A lot of these vendors have so many slabs that they can't put them out on a table. So I started sifting through this box of slabs and I pulled out a bunch of cards that I needed. So of course, as the owner of the Powder School of Business, I went ahead and offered $200 on the Beedrill, the Luminion, and the Calyrex Shadow Rider alternate arts. And we got the handshake. Of course we got the handshake because of course I am the greatest negotiator ever. They should be plastering my face in business textbooks because that's how good I am when it comes to negotiating.
All right, so I picked up a decent amount of things today, but I think I want one more thing. We're gonna go to an old reliable of ours and we're gonna see what he has because he always has the goods.
Who's the old reliable? Well, it's Power Collectibles, someone we've worked with in the past, and once again, I say it over and over again, work with people you know. At his table, I found myself a Mew VMAX alternate art. Honestly speaking, this one is super duper underrated, and I still need it for my collection.
Would you, on the Mew, would you do 150?
I can do 149.
150 it is. Charity service. I'm gonna give the charity 150 it is, bro. We got this. Let's go. Don't go to business school. Watch my videos, you'll find out how to negotiate. Snip, snap, baby, that's how it works. This was the last card of the day. I'm done buying for this video, and I have only 8 cards left in the challenge. What am I gonna do next? Well, all the cards I got, I'm gonna go ahead and
add them to my collector app portfolio. Yeah, the collector app isn't just for checking prices. I can create a portfolio and keep track of my collection via the collector app. And you guys can keep track of my collection as well if you download the collector app and add my profile on there. And regarding the challenge, we have 8 more PSA 10 alternate arts that we need for this challenge to be complete. Problem is, we only have a couple weeks left in the year and I don't want to shave my head. So if you want to find out whether I'm going to end up having my locks or be bald, make sure you subscribe and watch out for the next video.